Hey guys, this is Savannah from earthandwater.co. Today I want to talk about, since we've been revisiting anxiety, I want to talk about one of the tools I use, something that's really helped me, especially during anxiety attacks and when my senses are heightened. Because I am neurodivergent, which means I get overstimulated pretty easily, pretty quickly, especially when I was in the trenches of motherhood, because so many of us did not realize that we had hypersensitivity to sounds and stuff, energy, movements, lights, all of the things, until we were in the trenches of motherhood, because that's when all of those things are really getting activated. And that's definitely when I found out that I had the hypersensitivities to be easily overwhelmed and whatnot. I mean, I guess I could kind of had always known that I could be easily overwhelmed, maybe, but anyway, I digress. When you find yourself in these positions, one of the little mindset shifts, tricks, things I've found that helps a lot is to become a pretend smoker. And what I mean by that is, if you know a smoker, all of us do. I myself was actually a smoker for about 6 or 7 years. But I'll have you notice that no matter what's going on, no matter how busy they are, no matter the weather, no matter nothing, it does not matter. They will find 3 to 5 minutes to step outside and smoke a cigarette. Yes? No matter how busy they are, no matter what is going on. In fact, the busier, more stressed out that they are, the more likely they're willing to just throw up their hands and be like, forget it, I'm going outside for a second. So what we're going to take away from this is that if they can put that much importance on taking a second to just go breathe, because that's really what they're doing, right? Then so can we. We don't have to have the cancer stick to get our own benefits from just stepping outside and taking some very deep, slow breaths of fresh air. Consciously making an effort to relax our face and shoulders, melting all of our muscles down towards the ground, giving into gravity, just letting it all go with every exhale. While we're here, let's notice how this air feels on our skin. How's the weather doing today? What do the clouds look like? Man, aren't the clouds beautiful? What about greenery? Got any greenery around? Can we touch it? And ta-da, just like that, you've completely recalibrated your emotions and your vibration from something that was heightened to something more calm, more slow pace, more patient, more relaxed. And all it took was thinking of creating some space and walking outside and intentionally doing so. This is a meditation practice. It's a mindfulness practice. It's an intentional living practice. Taken when you need it the most. Because just like the smokers, they know, okay? They know the secret. It does not matter what is going on. You deserve that 3 to 5 minutes to just exist, breathe, be, create some space, relax your face and muscles, your shoulders. The world is not going to fall apart any more than it already is falling apart if you walk away for a few minutes. And then if you allow yourself to have that space, then you can come back and you're going to be better able to navigate it in a purposeful and intentional manner. You're going to be more patient, you're going to be more calm, you're going to be more understanding, more compassionate to yourself, to others, to all of the things that are going on that caused you to be overstimulated and overwhelmed in the first place. Because most of us in these situations, we react, right? Things get to us, we're stressed out, and our immediate reaction is to snap. There's big energy going around, and our defense mechanism, our innate reaction, is to create bigger energy than the energy that's already going on, because bigger energy overpowers the big energy that's causing us issues, so we can overpower it, right? No, that's not how it works. That's how things get escalated. Turns into yelling, into fights, and more people being upset, and you being even more upset than you started out with. which is why it's so important to find that itty bitty sliver of a pause in between your breaking point and your snapping point, okay? There's an itty bitty little sliver of space in between your breaking point and your snapping point. And if you can grab that pause and bring it out and just step outside for a second and breathe, acknowledge the space that you're creating, slow everything down, relax your face and shoulders, tap into some physical aspects of nature around you if you can, because getting in tune with all of those things really calms our nervous system on a subconscious and innate level. And essentially, and excuse me for anybody who doesn't like spicy words, but just throw your hands up and say fuck it for a second, just like the smokers do. In that moment, nothing matters more than your mental health, your emotional stability, and your ability to then turn around and walk back in and address whatever needs to be addressed in a patient, compassionate, loving manner. Because if you blow up, that's just going to create more problems, more rifts. Even if you're not coming from it with an angry point of view, okay? Because most of us, I don't know the statistics on most of or many or whatever, but anger is not the only type of outbursts that come from this. It's also, despair and panic, fear, essentially just overstimulation, and that leads to all sorts of emotions on the negative end of the spectrum. And it's our job to learn how to stop those emotions from escalating. And honestly, usually the only way to stop that escalation is to take ourselves out of the situation entirely for a second. Especially in the beginning, when you're first trying to learn how to control your outbursts, your anger, your emotions, all of those things. Sometimes you need to remove yourself from the situation briefly, okay? Emphasis on that briefly thing. Because it's real easy just to dip out and be done, isn't it? So many of us are runners. We run away. We run away from our emotions. We run away from our problems. That's not what this is, okay? It's related, but it's not what this is. We're briefly stepping away for just a few minutes to consciously work on calming ourselves, calming our bodies, recalibrating our emotions, our mood, our energy, so that we can come back to the situation and make good choices. Again, it's a practice. And the more you practice, the easier it'll be to recalibrate yourself. The easier it'll be to catch yourself before the momentum gets too momentum-y. And the easier it'll be to bring it back over to the emotions where you want to be. Well, at first it's probably going to be like middle ground where you can be like where the emotions are tolerable, but you always want to be trying to essentially crush the ego, because that's what most of it is, right? It's our ego wanting to be right, wanting to be in control, wanting other people to act a certain way or do a certain thing or whatever. And the more and more that we practice this, the easier it'll be to let go of that sense of control or that need for control, and learn how to just allow things to be what they are when they are, and recognize that for sure where other people are concerned, we can only ever lead by example and hope that they make better choices. We can never actually control anybody, or as we especially can't beat them into listening or changing or learning or nothing. Literally all we can ever do is be patient with ourselves and make sure that we do the work within ourselves to live and lead and speak and act in kindness and compassion and patience and love for both ourselves and everybody else around us. And that's how we slowly make the world a better place. That's how we slowly, because, we're supposed to teach these coping mechanisms to children, all right? And we have not done so. But that's not our fault. That's not our fault. I don't want to be like accusatory or nothing. We didn't know. Our parents didn't know. Their parents didn't know. Their parents didn't know. A few people innately picked up on it over time and whatnot. So we did have splashes of people knowing how to cope with their emotions and the traumas that life throws at us here and there. It hasn't been completely lost. But definitely the vast majority of us were not taught how to manage our emotions as children, which led to adults the children in adult bodies having the same temper tantrums that they were having when they were kids, because they don't know how else to express their emotions and regulate their emotions and share their emotions with the people around them. So this is one way of learning how to do that, or learning how to cope with that. Pretend smoking. So become a pretend smoker. Practice it over and over as often as you need to learn how to regulate and navigate your own emotions, so that you can then go and interact with the people in your lives in that exact manner, which then shows them ways of coping and being and acting better and all of that. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if I can help in any way. Let me know what you think about this particular exercise. I offer energy alchemy consultations if you ever want to sit down and talk to me about any of your problems, and we can work on how to fix them or how to start moving in a better direction. You can also join us in the Facebook groups. That came out plural. There's only one. Please enjoy a couple of minutes to just sit here and create space and breathe. Practice it right now. Here's some music to accompany it. And namaste. I love you. I'll see you next week.